Sometimes it's hard to understand the things you say. Yeah. How you notice every little flaw on your face. Yeah. You're tripping about a couple extra pounds, let it ruin your mood. If only you could see what I see, you'd enjoy the view. Hey, look how you're shining, girl, you a diamond. You know you're priceless. You know you got that soul glow. I see your halo. In case you don't know, you may not think that you are perfect.
Your lips, your eyes, your thighs, there's something to me.
But girl, I'm telling you, you're perfect.
Your skin, your curves, your smile, that's on everything.
And you ain't gotta have your hair did, your nails done, no makeup on. Ooh, girl, I'm telling you, you're perfect.
Girl, you're so damn perfect.
You're perfect for me. My baby's a rider, a fighter. She is my queen. Nobody can compare to the type of heart that my woman brings. Listen, because you're perfect, how you are, the way that God made you.
Perfect.
And you're the only one that I ever wanna wake up to. Ah, baby, look how you're shining, girl, you a diamond. You know you're priceless. You know you got that soul glow. I see your halo. In case you don't know, you may not think that you are perfect.
Your lips, your eyes, your thighs, there's something to me.
But girl, I'm telling you, you're perfect.
Your skin, your curves, your smile, that's on everything.
And you ain't gotta have your hair did, your nails done, no makeup on. Ooh, girl, I'm telling you, you're perfect.
Girl, you're so damn perfect.
You're perfect for me. Come here.
Your heart, your soul, your mind.
You're perfect for me.
You're one of a kind. Baby,
you may not think that you are perfect.
Your lips, your eyes, your thighs, there's something to me.
But girl, I'm telling you, you're perfect.
Your skin, your curves, your smile, that's on everything.
And you ain't gotta have your hair did, your nails done, no makeup on. Ooh, girl, I'm telling you, you're perfect.
Girl, you're so damn perfect.
You're perfect for me. You are. You're perfect for me.
You're one of a kind.
Good morning. You're listening to Coffee and Conversation with your boy J-Mad on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all the other platforms that we're on. Even Alexa can make it do just what it do. Hey, I appreciate you all. Let me start by saying this. Let me start by saying that I want to say thank you so much for you all's support. I try to say it as often as I can that Aries said he saw me and wrote that. You know what, Aries? Yes, you are. You are perfect. Michelle, you are perfect. Everybody that's listening, all you ladies, you are very perfect. You are wonderful people. But I do want to say thank you to all of you all that support me. It is not unnoticed. It really is not unnoticed. And I wanted to simply say thank you for all that you all do and your support for me, even with your prayers. Thank you all so much. I do appreciate it. I want to get right into the conversation today. And it stems from last night in a sense. I didn't abruptly. No, I'm fine. Thank you. I'm fine. Jay, you got that Barry White voice going on. y'all don't care for my, and I'm actually in a little area that's conducive to actually recording because of the way it's made up. So that may be it. I do have my Barry White voice on today too. It is early. Anyhow, I was thinking last night on the show, a lot of things happened that, because I have to dissect what happened yesterday on the show. It was a great show. I love the show. I love the fact that we had a few people on the stage hanging out with me. My brother ended up coming in, and the conversation went several different places that I did not intend for it to go. I tried to stick with a certain focal point. However, I am glad the way that it did. It gave me the opportunity to see a few things. I'll put it that way. I was able to see a few things. And in seeing the things that I saw, I became very concerned, and even saw purpose for a more focused show, I should say. I was able to see a few topics that I need to discuss, and I want to go back on a topic that I had a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, maybe even longer than that. And it was your foundation, my foundation. I wondered last night. Well, not I wondered. I saw last night how bad life can be to us, that it will rattle our foundation. It would take us off of our foundation. There are times where a storm comes and it will completely remove the house off of the foundation. The house is gone, but the foundation is still there. But who you once were does not exist anymore. It was an eye-opening experience, and I don't know if any other people saw. You probably didn't, because my vantage point is different than a lot of people. It is important for us, ladies and gentlemen, to be able to stand for something, to believe in something, to to have your life grounded on a focal point. Y'all caught some of it? Okay, good. When life is gonna happen to us, let me see if I can go this way with it. Life is going to happen to us. We can't stop it. The Bible instructs us or suggests to us, or better yet, warns us that life is full of trouble. This life that we have is full of trouble. We've already, and one of the things that I tried to remind the listeners last night is that a large part of my conversation is based on a Christian point of view. It's based on a Christian point of view. Also, I wanted you all to also know, everybody that listens to my show is not a Christian. So, and I understand some things were said, and it kind of threw some people off. Understand that my conversation that Jason has, that J-Matt has, is from a Christian point of view. Not everybody that I entertain is not a Christian. And not all of the Christians that listen to the show is not a practicing Christian. Okay, I hope y'all caught that. So it's important to understand that we want to hear from other people. We want to be able to hear from other people with other ideas. I am a firm believer on listening to other people's thoughts. It's actually great for debate. But what I want to be able, I want to be able, for us to be able to do individual, right? I know a lot of people with different beliefs. I bring diversity. And diversity is absolutely amazing to me. It really is. I love diversity. I absolutely love diversity. One of the things that I love about the Muslim, not necessarily Nation of Islam, but I believe that they are this way too. But the Muslim belief in itself, one thing about them is that they're so rooted and grounded in their foundation and what they believe in that they are willing to die for it. They're willing to lay down their life for it. Gina, we're talking about, we're kind of discussing last night, and the name of it, I'm revisiting a topic, my foundation. And we're gonna talk about that part of the show. We're talking about that part of the show where the show kind of went to the right last night, and how I recognized some things on the show from last night, and I wanted to have this discussion this way, and I entitled it "My Foundation." So the Muslim faith believes that they are so grounded. Let me put it this way: they are so grounded in their beliefs that they are willing to speak out about it and what they see, how they see it, and march boldly with it, so much so that they will die for what they believe in. Now, that's a foundation that is amazing to me. Are all Muslims that way? I doubt it. Because just like all Christians aren't doing what they're supposed to do, I don't believe all Muslims are doing what they're supposed to do. Now, I'm just about 98.9% guaranteed that if a person was to walk into a Christian church, and I've given this example plenty of times as an illustration when I'm preaching. A guy walks into a Christian church with mask on, two guys, and they have these AK-47s with them or this M16, and they scream out, "If you are not willing to die for what you believe in, leave now." And the church empties out, except for about 3 or 4 people. The two guys remove their masks and say this to the pastor: "Okay, pastor, you can preach now. The real Christians are here." Your foundation. Your foundation is something that you should be able to stand on to the end, to the very end, because you believe in what you believe in. It will not, your foundation will not allow you that's it. Your foundation would not allow you to be everywhere doing everything because you're rooted and you're grounded. Religion is one topic I don't debate because everyone think their belief is right. I listen and I keep my comments to myself. See, here's in a debate. In a debate, I was thinking about this, and shout out to the 2 young men in Atlanta. One goes to Westlake, and the other goes to, I forgot the other black high school in this area. There's a lot of them, but 2 young brothers in the Atlanta area won the Harvard International Debate last week. So shout out to those 2 young brothers. But when you're debating, your objective in a debate, and this should go along with your foundation too. Your foundation should allow you to conversate about what you believe in without downing or discounting the other person. Your job is to state your facts, what you believe in. I agree. And unfortunately, Gina says, some use the Christian foundation with the wrong reason. And that's where I wanted to go. They misinterpret scripture. One should not argue the word. 2 Timothy 2:14 keeps reminding God's people that these things, warn them before God against quarreling about words. It is no value. The only ruins who listen. When you are debating or when you're conversating about your beliefs, and this should be about anything, because not only Michelle was saying, she don't debate about religion because everyone think their belief is right. I just listen and keep. But that's the same with whatever topic. I don't care if it's love. I don't care if it's politics. I don't care what it is. The same principle applies to everything. Either you believe it or you don't. But then again, on the flip side, my job is not to change your mind. My job is to state my facts. Or my job is to state what I believe in. When we learn to stand on a foundation, people can see who you are. There you go. People can recognize who you are. So in a season, watch this. Here's the I know y'all love boy comment when I want any topic. Okay, yeah, that messed me up. Here's the thing. If you present yourself, I only comment when I want on any topic. Yeah, I mean, everybody have the right to only comment when they, it's not a force. I don't force people to, especially on the show. I know you're talking in general. But here's what happens when you present yourself stable. Or let me put it better, on a foundation. Thank you, Gina. I knew Gina. Gina, I knew you already caught it. When we present ourselves to be stable, or when we present ourselves to be on a foundation that is solid in our life, in our beliefs, here's what happened. The Bible talks about finding a refuge. What a refuge is. What a refuge, yes, ma'am. What a refuge does, it is a sanctuary that has proven to be a fortress. It is a sanctuary that has proven to be a fortress because it is a symbol and has withstood time. And the people who looked for this fortress, it is solid. So when you are set on a solid foundation, what you do for people, not that you're trying to change their viewpoints, their vantage point, and all of this other stuff, you create a fortress. You create a what's the word that I just used? A safe haven. I'll just use that one. It's a safe haven for people when they are in danger, or when what they believe in, watch this, or the people that they believed in did not come through for them and are now out in the cold and they need help. But because you have presented yourself to be stable and on a foundation, people are willing to come to your area for protection. That's the importance of having a solid foundation. A lady asked me last night, "Are you married?" No, ma'am, I'm not. No, ma'am, I'm not. Nor do I present myself to be or say that I am the relationship guru, because I'm not. And she came over and she sat with me on the stage for a little while. Older lady, she sat with me on the stage for a little while, and we conversated. And I gave her my input. I said, "Look, my job is not to tell anyone how to live their life, but I can sure enough tell you what you should not do." There are a lot of mistakes I've made in life that allows me to suggest to people what not to do. And everything that I talk about on the show are suggestions. People have to learn to live their own lives. And what I'm finding out with almost every show is that a lot of people are looking for other people to tell them what to do with their lives. Refuge. That's what I was looking for. So many people want other people to suggest to them, oh, you need to do this. Oh, you need to do that. Oh, you need to do this. Oh, you need to handle yourself this way. No, your job is to build your life the way God told you to. And again, I say, I'm only talking to Christians. I can only talk to Christians. Or I will put it this way, the higher power that you believe in. Okay, Aries, thank you for being on the show as short as you can. We have to get to a place. Thank you, Aries. That's from the old school Periscope days there. Man, you just brought a smile to my face. So Aries is one of my original listeners when I used to have Periscope back in the day. We had so many people on back then. Oh man, I used to love Periscope. Anyway, so our foundation is very important. Let me reset, and I will give you, let y'all listen to this, and I will be back in just 2 shakes of a leg.
Last night
You're listening to Coffee and Conversation with your boy J Mad on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all the other platforms that we're on. Even Alexa can make it do what it do. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs too. Shout out to my baby Brittany. That's one. Apparently, that's one of her favorite songs. I want to get back into the conversation, but I kind of want to switch it in this manner. Are we? Well, I'll ask a question. Are you able to stand on what you believe in? And are you pliable enough to change? That's a difficult thing to answer. That question there is a very difficult thing to answer because it almost contradicts itself. Are you able to stand and articulate your belief, yet are you pliable enough to change? Change. Great question, Gina. We have to understand that sometimes what we were taught was not right. Now, we could have in the beginning stood flat-footed on, this is what I believe. This is how we're gonna make it to the next stage of life or the afterlife. The change depends on the issue. I make this statement. My foundation right now in relationships. I'm not trying to be in a relationship. And I have my reasons for not wanting to be in a relationship. But can that change? Yes, it can change. It can easily change when in that instant, yes, especially when change is for growth. There you go. And I think you kind of took the words right out of my mouth as to where I'm going with it. When we recognize that something is more conducive to our belief system, and that is not to say, and that's just not in Christian, in all facets of our lives, we must be willing, or we must be open to changing when something is presented to us that makes us better. The worst thing a person can be is a closed-minded fool. And the only way we can know if that what we believe is right, our belief system has to be challenged. I have to hear what the other person has to say, because there is a great chance that my job is not to change my viewpoint, but maybe there is something on the inside of me that can change theirs. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, it's always important to speak up and speak out. That's one of the reasons it is important to speak up and speak out. Because when we do, we are able to possibly give someone the opportunity to change their minds. And we also open up the opportunity for somebody to teach me something. I am not always right. And a lot of times that's where we honestly have to learn to be. We have to learn to be pliable. Because I guarantee you, there's something. I was watching someone. I don't know. I can't remember who sent me this. I get sent videos and statements and things like that all the time in Facebook. And someone sent me a video of Bishop G.E. Patterson. Shout out. Love you, Bishop Patterson. He's long gone now, but love you. That was a powerful man in the Kojic Church, a family friend. Bishop G.E. Patterson was teaching, and you know Kojic back in the day was real heavy about women wearing pants. In the women wearing pants, period. And so, and it was a foundational focal point on what they believed in. My church that I grew up in, they believed the same thing, that women should not wear pants. And they based it on a scripture that talked about women should not wear men clothing and men should not wear women clothing. Based it off that scripture. And so he stated the pant is an abbreviation for what's the word? Panalug or something like that. It's the abbreviation for another word, which was non-existent until 19 something. Pants was not even around. There was no such thing. Nobody, not even men, wore pants back in in biblical days. There was no such thing. So he changed a foundational belief within the Kojic church. How dramatic of a mindset must have taken place after that statement, because he was willing to adjust a foundational point that they believed in. Now, are you willing to do that for your own self? Or are you willing to be that scripture for somebody? Are you willing to allow a scripture like that to change your mind? Or are you willing to be that scripture that changes somebody else's mind? And both are very hard. Because I don't want to get into an argument. I don't want to get into a fight. I don't want to get, I don't want to, have to explain this, that, and other. But that's your job. That's what we ask God. We tell God, God, let me be your hands, your ears, your mouth. So if you believe in what you believe in, my desire, ladies and gentlemen, is that we're also bold enough and with wisdom. Let me help y'all out. Be bold enough to speak out about it, yet with wisdom have the compassion and the understanding that there could be a chance that I'm wrong. But we would never know. You would never know if you don't speak up on what you believe in. You know, one thing about communication, it's good for you. It's good for you. If as Christians, and I can have this conversation with the Christian believers, we pray this prayer all the time. God, however you want to use me, use me. However you want to use me, God, use me. He's not going to be look, God will put you in situations where it's not to, you find out a single mother with 5 kids needs some food in the house. That's easy to do. But can you do the hard thing? Queen Sheba went to Solomon and said, I came to you to ask you the hard questions. Are you able to, with your foundation that you're standing on, be not shaken in your conversation about what you believe in? And this is not just, again, this is not religion, just only religion. It's deeper than religion. I'm talking about everything that you believe in, everything that you believe in. Can you speak with wisdom about it? Now, if you're not strong in your wisdom or in your knowledge of the foundation that you're standing on, if you're not wise on that, then that is an opportunity for you to strengthen where you are weak. One of the things about our foundation is we must know where we are weak. Any good fortress understand its weak points. Any good fortress understand where they're weak at. They know all of their blind spots. And when you find out you have a blind spot, you go and refortify that area. And so my conversation this morning is real simple. It's real simple. Can you stand on your own 2 feet? Can you stand? Are you able to stand on your own 2 feet? Are you able to say, this is who I am? And then be able to have an intelligent conversation about what it is that you believe in. Abigail went to meet King David on behalf of her husband, Nabal. Yes. I'll ask, even just like Abigail, she was willing to die for what she believed in. She already knew the foundation is you just don't rush up to the king and say stuff. You just because you stand the risk of having your head chopped off. But are you in a position in life to discuss boldly and with wisdom? Are you at that point? And that was one of my concerns last night. And because you can't, now trust me, you can't just do it anytime. last night was not the time to debate some of the few of the topics that came up. There was about 3 or 4 topics and it took everything in me to try to stay focused. Don't know how good of a job I did on staying focused, but I had to use wisdom. And you heard a couple of times I said, those are shows that we are going to do. Those are some shows that we're going to do. And there was about 3 shows. I think about 3 shows I got out of what went down on the second half or in the second hour of the show last night. And it's good that it happened that way. It's good that it happened that way. And I'm not here to say that that person is right or wrong. My job, thank you, who's that? Michelle. My job is to deliver or have a place. And one of the ladies actually thanked me for having a place for us to talk like this. I think that was my first or second time seeing her, but she thanked me for having a place where we can talk like this. And that's what I want us to be able to do, is to be able to simply do that. Talk. You're listening to Coffee and Conversation. I'll let your boy, I'll be back and say my goodbyes. It's all good. It's definitely all gravy.
As your man, I've held your hand, never letting go. Let you hold the keys to the Lexus. We drive, gave you all you need and want as long as I'm alive. Even from the heavens up above, I'll shine out all. Too much is never enough. Ooh, you're all I want. Even when I'm gone, the love will carry on. Just that strong, so just in case. I'll make it home tonight. I'll make it home, baby. For the last time, baby. Oh, wanna cherish each moment like the last, 'cause baby, you're that I have. happen to me. There's something you need to know. Just in case I make it home tonight, let me make love to you for the last time, baby. I love you, wanna cherish each moment like the last. 'Cause baby, you're gotta have. So just in case I don't make it home, I want you to know. Just in case, just in case. Let me make love to you for the last time, baby. You're my heart, you're my soul. Yeah, you make me whole. 'Cause baby, you're gotta have. So just in case, just in case, baby, I want. Just in case, I make it home tonight. Let me make love to you for the last time, baby. All night.
You're listening to Coffee and Conversation with your boy J-Man on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all the other platforms that we're on. Even Alexa can make it do what it do. There was a couple of things I wanted to address before we end the show this morning. Jackie said knowing when to speak and when not to speak is the key to effective communication. Gina goes on to say, with an open forum, you have to have a well-disciplined and learned moderator. Let me suggest this, and not only with open forums, that they just in life in general. Sometimes speaking can destroy or make matters worse. You don't necessarily have to get your point across. Sometimes your silence is more effective than your words. I'll tell this quick story. I have a million stories. I was in the Navy, and I had just put on E4, and I was in school. And they put me in charge of night study. For the people that wasn't doing too well, you had to go to night study. And so they put me in charge of night study. And when we was in night study, the class got a little out of hand. And so I suggested to people, y'all need to calm down, so that we can get y'all study and stuff done, da-da-da. Still to no avail. I didn't argue with them. I said, okay, hold on. I went to the chief of the watch and knocked on his office door, went in, and apparently something went wrong at home or whatever. And he just went off on me. I told you all not to disturb me, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He just went off. I immediately went to parade rest and let him say whatever he wanted to say, but he was out of pocket. He was way out of pocket. Now, I could have went off, but I knew my place. Stood there, parade rest, let him say whatever he needed to say. I said, aye, chief, and I walked out. Not even 5 minutes later, the chief comes into the classroom and calls me into his office. And he said, I apologize. You had every right to go off on me or argue with me. But instead, you stood there and took the brunt of my frustration. I apologize to you. What is it that you needed? Sometimes you can calm people down by just simply shutting up. You don't necessarily have to defend your point. Just like last night, I didn't have to defend my point. That was not the place. And even with Chief, that was not the place for me to debate that with him. However.com if we learn how to handle our foundation, there it is, handle who we are effectively enough. Gina understands this. I don't know. I think some people are figuring it out with me. Gina understand that I am quick to downgrade a conversation. I am quick to say, you know what, I'm not even going there. And I use these two terms. And Gina had to get on the phone yesterday with me because she ended up getting both of these in the same conversation. If I use the word I understand, or this phrase I understand, or if I use the word indeed by itself, that means, okay, I hear what you're saying. I'm just going to let you have it. Because what will happen if I was to dive into a conversation that I am passionate about, or if I'm pushed into a conversation that I am extremely passionate about, I'm going to come off mean and hateful. So I've learned, even in past relationships, I've learned to just be quiet. And a lot of times those people hate the fact that I didn't argue back with them, because I learned how to be in control of my emotions. Hold on, let me see. I got people in the chat room. Let me go back. When open form. Okay, I read that exactly. Jackie says, speak what's in your heart when you're not angry or frustrated, so it's not taken the wrong way. There you go. There you go. When you learn to speak, because if you know that you're gonna come off wrong, keep your mouth closed. Even though you're saying what you wanted to say, but you know how it's gonna. Because a lot of times it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And last night could have easily been one of those nights that could have been combative if I didn't know how to handle it. Sometimes a one-on-one conversation and not in public, and not a public debate. Right. Sometimes you have to, like even last night, there was a couple of issues that I know that it's not going to be a public conversation. It's going to have to be a one-on-one conversation. It's going to have to be not everything is up for a public debate. Who's that, Sherry? Not everything has to be a public debate. Sometimes you're going to have to sit down and have this one-on-one conversation with people. Thank y'all so much for joining J-Man on Coffee and Conversation, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all the other platforms that we're on. Even Alexa can do what it do. Do me a favor, y'all. Do me a favor. This is going to help me with the growing the show. I want you to make sure that you're sharing with others. Michelle does a great job in sharing the program with different people, because she lets me know, hey, I got this person to sign up. I got that person to sign up. Thank you so much, Michelle, for helping me out. But also, when you are on the show, make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you are hitting the like button. And if there is a show that you want to keep, you can download the shows as well. Friday night shows, for those that just want music. A large part of my Friday night show, that's going to change a little bit, but a large part of my Friday night show turns into just music. Usually we play just music. We may have a short conversation, but once it gets too loud, that place there gets really, really loud because it's in a small space. Once we move into the new location, we're going to be able to have a more focused conversation, which is going to open in about a month or so. So on my Friday night shows, you will be able to do that. You also, if you want me to do a music show with nothing but good music, and we just talk about music, Christians are, because I am going to start doing a Christian-based show. We're going to do a Christian-based show as well. That is strictly on, and it's something that my pastor and I are working on. So we're going to make that happen. That's going to be and it's going to be strictly gospel music on the Christian gospel music on that type of show. All right. Thank y'all so much. I'm over my time limit. I love you all. Y'all be good. Y'all be gravy, because what? It's all good. It's definitely all gravy. I holla.